And now, from Glasgow.
So welcome to issue 123. This is the left Curtainside Tarpaulin, and it looks like 123 and 124 are going to be the same but on opposite sides. So the parts that we have for this issue is piece number 1, which is the tarpaulin for the left hand side of the trailer, and it does say later on in the instructions not to fold, and they have gently folded this, and as a result it does have some creases in it. If there's any good ideas out there on how to remove that fold, I wondered about maybe just reverse folding it to try and straighten it, but I don't think it's going to be a major problem. So the next thing that we have is a bag of 17 webbing fasteners. Now, if you know anything about trucks, if you've seen trucks, you'll see if you get a Curtainside trailer, you'll get all of these little tie-down clips. And what that is if you didn't tie your tarpaulin, the truck travelling down at 55 miles an hour, this would be flapping all over the place. So what we'll have little tie-downs at various places, just to make sure it doesn't flap up. So next we have got a small bag of silver plastic circles. These are internal fixings for fastenings. We then have 2 rods for the ends of the tarpaulin, so these are going to fix the ends at either end of the trailer, and we have bottom and rear clips. Bottom clip for right rod, front rod, and top clip for rear rod twice. Now, this is one of those magazines you really must follow the instructions carefully. I'm going to separate these 2 clips so that they're together, and what you'll notice is that one goes off to the left, one goes off to the right. I'm sorry I'm holding them funny, but they're really small. So there's a little dot, little peg on the end. Do you know, I'm looking at that peg and expecting it to say Lego on it, but it actually says, it says L&R on it. But we'll be starting on that part first. So as I say, so long as we read the instructions carefully, I've got a confession to make, guys. This is actually my second cut. I didn't read the instructions properly. Sometimes what you want to do when you get the instructions, read the instruction that you're about to do, and then have a look at the next stage as well, and then do stage 1. And that's what I didn't do. The last thing we have, which is not listed as parts, are these 2 sticky strips. I don't know if they're double-sided, and I don't know what they're calling them, but they did come with the part work, so maybe we'll use them later on, maybe we won't. Right, so stage 1, we need to start fitting the end rods, and what we're looking for, and I will come in really close on this, I think that will be beneficial. That's too close, that's gone out of fuzz. So what we're looking for is a small shaped hole. You'll see there's a flat bit on there, and if you've got the hole upwards and the peg downwards, the hook will hook off to the left. Okay, and then what we want to do is take our rod, which you may notice has got a flattened end. They have a flattened end on both sides. I don't think it matters which way round they go, but what you want to do is line up that flat end with the flat bit on there, and we push that in. Now it is a very, very stiff fit, and I've actually found if I just use the table very, very carefully push that in, and you probably aren't going to get that out again once it's in. So we're going to end up with a rod that looks like that. Okay, now once we've done that, we want to take our tarpaulin, and we want to take, call it whatever you want, the left side, the left hand side of the truck, the front. So as you see, place it on your table so that you can read it correctly, and it's this one. And what we're going to do is, where this has been sewn over, we just want to thread that into there like so. Push that through, and that's not coming out the other end because we need to just ruffle that up a little bit. Okay, and that's why that goes in really stiff. So right, it says to fit the clip. This is interesting. So that clip, the opposite clip, is actually going to go, you see there's a small notch there. Let me bring that a bit closer. So what we want to do is take our opposite side clip, which we should now have an odd number, so we know it's going to be this one, and we want to just poke this rod all the way through so that we can access it, and exactly the same as before, we're going to place that rod into the shaped hole. Now I haven't done a close-up on this. Right, so I'm going to give that a little bit of a push just to make sure it's in properly. I wonder if you could use super glue on this. I don't think it probably needs it. I think that's in. Right, so let's do a little bit of a close-up. So you'll see that's in there. Now what we want to do is we want to just work that way into the tarpaulin. Hopefully it won't come off. And maybe use a cocktail stick just to sort of work that tarpaulin around. In fact, actually I've got it upside down and I'm just pushing down on the tarpaulin, and then we can just work that tarpaulin hole around that hook. You see I've got that end in there. I'm sorry about the focus, guys. So we're actually purposely trying to lose this end inside the tarpaulin. So there you see it's gone into the tarpaulin, and then we just want to gently work the tarpaulin down and the rod up until that hook comes out of that little hole. Okay, and I'm going to push the tarpaulin down a little bit, and it's because this tarpaulin is quite rubbery, it really does grip well on that hook, so it's going to be a slightly fiddly job. But do you know what? I think I'm getting there. There we go. There we go. So let's get a close-up on there. So this is the top of the tarpaulin. So you see that hook does stick out. And then we've got our second hook is just coming out almost at the bottom. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to repeat that process for the opposite side. And what it's explaining to us this time is that this time the hook wants to go that way. So let's have a look at this one. This is the wrong one. So pop that rod into there, and this is really, really stiff, but there we go. Just give it a little bit of extra force. So if you actually place the hook on the table and push down, you are actually pushing through that rod, so there is less risk of damaging it. Right, so same as before, but we want to take the rear end and we're going to thread this through, if I can get in it. So what makes it difficult is the fact that this is a rubberized material and it just wants to grip which is obviously causing the problem. If it was a nice soft material inside, this part would be so much easier. However, using a softer material would give a much more unrealistic result. Okay, so using the little shaped hole, I'm placing this other hook on the end, and that is not going in. And I wonder if the hook, the actual rod, is misshaped. Now don't worry about folding this tarpaulin up like this. It's not going to give you any bad creases, so long as you're not leaving it like it for ages. Okay, this does not want to go on. I'm tempted to make the hole bigger. I wonder if, yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to say that the rod hasn't quite been cut properly, but I think it's just, just got to keep going until I get it done. There we go. I think that's on. So the best way to test it is to just give it a gentle pull, and I think that's fine, but I can see a small gap, so I'm not 100% happy with that. There you go, that's much better. Still a small gap. So as before, we want to work this hook into the tarpaulin, and I'm finding a cocktail stick works well. You could perhaps go out and use something that's quite expensive, but as I say, this works well enough for me. So we're just gently working. Let me do a close-up. So what I'm doing is I'm just running around it with a cocktail stick. Push a little bit down on the peg, run round, get that cocktail stick right in, maybe roll it, and you see that as you roll it, it just gives a little bit of lift on the tarpaulin, and you see that rod is disappearing inside, and it's just that tarpaulin's just trying to come back up to its natural state. And there is the peg. So that's now sticking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to straighten out this curtain, and there we have the hook at the top and one at the bottom, and that is that tarpaulin done. Right, let's just straighten that a bit more so you see that it's not done any damage by bending that tarpaulin. Right, so the next stage is fitting the fastenings, and I think this is going to be a little bit long and a little bit, not boring, but repetitive is the word I'm looking for. So bear with me, I'm just cutting the parts out of the bag, and I think what I'm going to do is I'll do one with you and I'll do the rest off camera. I might do one or two, and then we'll get them done. So what we're going to do, we're taking this square piece at the top, and there'll be a peg behind it, and we are placing that. You'll see that the tarpaulin has holes cut in it, so we're going to push that through the hole like that. And then what we're going to do, it's suggesting to use tweezers. Now I can see that the holes in here, there are 4 little pegs, 4 little inserts. It looks like it's not quite been cast properly, you know, a little bit of flash, but that actually is correct. And what that's going to do is it's going to add a bit of friction, and it actually adds a lot of friction, and we're going to pop that over there like that, and that surprisingly is a really good hold. So there's one fastener on. So all we have to do now is just repeat that 17 times. So I'll do another one with you. So pop that into there, turn it over, take one of these. Now the instructions are saying to use tweezers. I would be ever so careful with tweezers, because these are quite smooth, so there is a possibility that they could ping off and the carpet monsters could eat your fastener. Now this one seems a little bit loose, but I've given it a good push down and it seems to hold quite well. And that's what it looks like with 2 fastenings. So guys, to save you from absolute boredom, because as you can see from the holes, there are quite a few to do. So I'm going to do these off camera and then I'll show you the result. Okay, so that's those almost done. Now, because obviously I'd done 2 with you, there's 17 in total. So that left 15. I actually found it easier to do them in batches of 5. And what I've done is I've placed my 2 fingers at the bottom so that the hole is in between my fingers. And then I'll just, any way that I can, doesn't matter if they go in at an angle, I've just placed the clip on like that. Get 3 in, they will hold. You might be able to do 5 in one go. Then I'm going to turn it over, and then these clips, I mentioned about there being 3 little holes. Again, what I actually found easier is if you place these at the top. The reason for that is if you place them at the bottom, it's quite difficult to get them in like that. If you actually place them at the top, you can place it in and it actually holds, look. And then you just finish it off with a small push and it just goes in. Ever so easy. In fact, to be honest with you, I found this quite relaxing and enjoyable. This is one of those issues where perhaps it'd be really good to do at the end of a really difficult day at work. Just come in through the front door, get your stuff, get your work clothes off, do what you need to do, grab a cup of coffee, sit down and make this, and I think you will really enjoy it. So that is issue 23. Now, it looks to me, sorry, issue 23, issue 123. It looks to me like issue 124 will be exactly the same, except that it's going on that side. So the question I have, will it actually matter if we put this on the wrong side? What I would think is a good idea is to get some kind of masking tape or something, and obviously we can tell the top from the bottom, but towards the front I think I'm just going to pop this masking tape on there, and if I can find a pen, I wonder if this pen works, and I'm just going to write on there 123. My pen actually works, that's a miracle. I'm one of those people, I have about 400 pens, but none of them work. Left curtain top. Okay, so, and the reason I'm doing this is because obviously I get these in packs, and it does say rosin webbing fastenings have been fitted to the left side tarpaulin. Store the tarpaulin carefully, do not fold it. I would suggest that we lay this on top of the trailer. We have the trailer sitting there, why not use it? But spoiler alert guys, as you know, I get these in packs of 4 because I'm a subscriber. So I have received at the time of filming 123, 124, 125, 126. I can tell you at the end of 126 these have not been fitted, and they're going to sit there for another 4 weeks till the next issues come. So do store it carefully guys. So I'm going to treat you to a expanded view. No, that's a zoom in, and that's what it looks like completed. So it also gives you, you already know what the trailer looks like, but again the size of the trailer is that big. It's not going to be small guys. So guys, thank you very much for watching as always. Hopefully I will catch you in the next video, which will be next week, which will be the 13th of March. So take care guys, bye bye.